Welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. With over 20 years of real estate experience and selling over 150 homes a year, Laura Sanders is the #1 RE/MAX agent in the state of Florida for 2021. Join us each week as we discuss how to make money through buying and flipping homes, to renting versus selling, and everything in between. To join the conversation, call in live 888-994-4995, Studio A.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders, and I am your host, Laura Sanders. Every week we talk about something that can help you save some money or maybe help you deter making a big mistake that would cost you money. So today we're here with one of our fabulous sponsors, Max Fisch from Nationwide Mortgage, and he is our mortgage guy. We're going to talk about the market and what's going on. Because I think a lot of people are concerned right now. People are stepping back. We're seeing homes stay on the market longer. So number one is, don't fire your realtors, people. It's not us. It's the market. And it's November, December. Always, 23 years I've been doing this.
Yeah.
And always I tell people, November, December is going to be slow, so just, chill out, hang out. Let's, you work with me, I'll work with you.
Yeah.
Last 2 years made me a liar, right?
Yeah.
This year, I'm not a liar anymore, but everything sells.
Yeah.
Price, condition, location, everything sells. But let's talk about inflation. Let's talk about where the government is with rates. What were rates 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, rates were pushing 8%. You
Okay.
know, they were 7.99, one day, 8.0.
And that's with great credit, right?
Great credit, yeah.
Bad credit, you were like...
Yeah, you were well into the eights.
And
Bad
that's
credit.
for primary residence.
Residences. Yeah. Investment was much higher.
Yeah.
Mid eights, high eights, low nines. It was...
Mid-income properties be lost properties, huh?
Yeah. It was pretty crazy. Now, the thing is what's happening is, what the Fed has been trying to do for the past 18 months, it's seemingly starting to work a little bit, right? The numbers that came out in September and October, with the economy being, more jobs are being created and the economy doing so well, it's kind of inflated by the summertime, right? Historically, there's a lot of spending, especially in real estate, that goes on in the summer. Right, people are moving in between school years and things like that.
Yeah.
Now what's happening is, when the October report came out in November, it showed that things have slowed a little bit. And that's good news for interest rates, because that's what the federal government has been trying to do.
It depends on who you are.
Yeah.
If you're retired, you're living off of whatever money you have, is not good news for you.
No.
Because the CDs are going to go...
Yeah, it's good news for interest rates, right? And for
buyers.
And for what we're doing. So rates, there was a 3-4 day span where rates dropped the most that I've seen in that time period. It went from almost 8% to now you're in the low 7s. That's a huge drop for just 48, 72 hours. Yeah, for a $500,000 loan, that could be the difference of $300-400 a month in payment. And that was just a 3 to 4 day span.
Could you imagine if you just bought your home like 2 months ago?
I know. But the good news is that if it continues this way, whether you bought it 2 months ago or 6 months ago, you're gonna be able to save some money.
Let's be real. Like, we're not going to see 4% again, like, anytime soon.
That would be a long shot. It would be.
But if that's what people are waiting for, like, keep renting and wasting your money, right?
Yeah, I saw a statistic the other day, and I'm going to totally botch this because I don't remember the exact wording, but it was something like in 1978, if you were waiting for rates to drop, you had to wait until like 1992.
And here's something, so it's funny. So every year I do an annual party for all my clients, right? I've been talking to clients I haven't talked to in a while. And so today I'm on the phone with a girl, a client.
Yeah.
She actually has a fabulous name. Her name is Laura. I'm not the client. Anyway, so we're on the phone, and I said to her, I can't believe how long it's been since you bought your home.
Yeah.
And, I'm still talking, and she's like, we're going to try to come as long as work doesn't get involved, whatever, right? And I said, that was the best move you ever made.
Yeah.
And it's not because when she bought it, it was $450, and now the house next door just sold for $1 million. It's not about the price.
Yeah.
Do you know what's really the biggest kicker? That when you wait too long?
Tell me.
Well, as the price goes up, so do the taxes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
everything.
Insurance is going to go up no matter what, right? But once you get that homestead and you get that 3%, I just feel like we need to let the buyers know that it's okay to buy at a high interest rate, and it will fluctuate.
Yep.
But what's scariest is that it was really the beginning of 21. So it was pretty much all of 21. In a few months of 22, which I have post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
I don't know what realtor doesn't that actually does business.
Yeah.
Of the buyers offering 25, 35, 45, 55, 100,
Yeah.
150,000, more than the
We're
list
seeing
price.
some crazy stuff.
Right. So I guess the question is it better to buy it for a higher price, or is it better to buy it at a higher interest rate?
Well, in my opinion, it's better to buy a higher interest rate and a lower price.
Right, because you can't sell it if it's over.
Yeah, because you can't change what you paid for a house, ever.
Right.
It's what you paid for the house. You can't change it. So the reality is that you can change the interest rate, you can't change what you paid for a house. So if you can get a deal on a house, now obviously if you're getting the house at the same price as you would at a lower interest rate compared to a higher interest rate, then there would be no gain there, right? But if you can get a house at a lower price due to the higher interest rates, then obviously there's potential gain there in the future.
Right.
Because the second those rates come down, we were just talking about this off camera, is there's going to be an explosion. I mean, there just is.
Right.
There are a lot of people that are on the sidelines right now just waiting for rates to come down.
They got to be somewhere because I don't see them.
And if you just herd right into that pack, then when rates come down, and I'm talking, doesn't have to be that much. The second there's a 5 in front of the rates.
Right, 5.99.
Yeah, the second there's a 5, I mean, there's going to be a flood of buyers, and in my estimation, and again, I don't have a crystal ball, but in my estimation, what's going to happen is the prices are going to, at that point, exceed the past couple of years because they've corrected a little bit. They've come down from 21 and early 2022. And when those rates come down, those prices are going to meet and then exceed.
Okay.
That's my projection, opinion.
I say let's go to commercial break, and when we come back, I want to talk about like an email that I got from another lender and see how do they make that happen, and
Sure.
Can you do that? And I know that you could give everybody a Christmas present this December, right? I know you can give them something. So when we come back, after we see our marvelous commercials from our great sponsors, and then we'll come back and talk about a Christmas gift that you can give all your listeners. Be right back.
Whether you're buying, selling, refinancing, or building your dream home, you have a lot riding on your loan specialist. Max Fisch, a top 1% mortgage loan officer in the nation, will give you a same-day qualifying quote. Max Fisch is committed to providing his customers with mortgage services that exceed their expectations. Ensuring that you make the right choice for you and your family is his ultimate goal. Contact Max Fisch today at 954-729-6933 or max.fisch@nwmcorp.net.
At JK Closing Attorneys, we do all of the same things that a title company does, but with the benefits of being a law office. We can help with residential real estate, short sales, commercial real estate, refinances, 1031 exchanges, and FIRPTA withholding.
Contact JK Closing Attorneys today at 954-332-3111. Again, that is 954-332-3111.
You have been watching Making Money with Laura. For more information, contact Laura Sanders at 954-650-0827 or visit her website at lauraess.com. And now back to the show.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Making Money with Laura Sanders, and I am your host, Laura Sanders. Welcome back, Max. So we're talking about the market and trying to get people to understand that it's okay to buy even at 8.25% because we're going to probably see, I would say, mid next year, right?
I'd say so. I mean, the election's going to have a big play in how this turns out within the next 12 months. But I'd say the next 6-9 months you'll start to see.
Or do you think people will get scared and pull back unless a 5 comes out? A 5 might come out because of the election.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, if the rates come down into the 5s, there's going to be a flood of
So
buyers.
buy now and refinance it. Others you're going to be chasing. Get what you love, you know?
That's why I think now is a really good time to buy.
So I was saying that Max is willing to give people a Christmas present, right?
Yeah.
We always have a secret word.
And
I don't know why
do you
it's
wanna
chicken
say it?
now. Chicken.
Chicken.
Chicken. We've come up with the word chicken. So if you say chicken in the month of December, well, we might even give you
In
November, right?
Yeah, yeah, we'll do November.
Yeah, we'll do
December.
November because there's not much left,
Yeah, we'll
I
do
mean,
that.
it should be turkey for November and chicken for December.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, okay. So if you say turkey in November and chicken in December,
Then we will cover your appraisal cost free of charge.
which is like $650.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's damn appraisers.
Yeah, I know.
Now it's the management companies
Used to be
actually.
like 300.
Right, $350.
Yeah.
So okay, we took care of that. So everybody's got a Christmas gift, Thanksgiving gift.
Yeah.
So there
you said
go.
email. You got an email from
I got an
lender.
email from another lender,
Yeah.
and the lender said in the subject line said, "I will buy your loan down by 1%." How's that work? Why is he able to do that?
So you can do pretty much, there are lender paid options. So we've talked about on the show the temporary rate buy down.
Right, but usually I'm seeing that either by the buyer doing it with their own closing,
Yeah.
because originally the buyers couldn't do it at all. It had to be paid for by the seller when when that product first came out. Am I correct?
Yeah, yep.
It had to be paid for by the seller.
Yep.
Then they changed it and said, no, the buyer can do it. They can pay for it.
Yeah.
Now the lender is saying, I'm going to buy your. I'm not telling you who because we don't want you.
Yeah, it's okay.
Plus, I want to know where are they getting that money from? How does that work? Does it cost the consumer?
No, so typically, I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you could structure it. I've seen it structured in a lot of different ways. The typical way that I've seen it structured with a lot of banks that do that is it's usually for a specified period of time, and it usually financed into their interest rate. So if their interest rate would have been,
Well, it would have been already, if we had done this last week, it would have been 7 point, with
Sure.
perfect credit.
Yeah,
And
but-
what's perfect credit? Let's tell everybody what that is.
well, there's different tiers. Perfect credit, I mean, the highest tier would be 780 plus. So whether you have 780 or you have 840, it's the same as far as interest rate's concerned.
Okay.
The tiers for credit are typically by 20, so, well, by 19 technically. It's like 700 to 719, 720 to 739, 740 to 759, and then so on.
So if I was 700, I would be over 8, wouldn't I? You're not perfect.
Back a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
yes. Today, rates are a little bit lower, so you'd probably be in the high sevens with
Okay.
700.
Good question. You talked about refinancing on your last show. Mm-hmm. That if you buy at whatever the price of the house is and your interest rate is at 8, you then have the option to refinance right when the rates come down.
Right.
Are you
It's
still
for free.
offering what you were offering before?
Yeah, we're doing bank cost-free refinances.
It's just hard costs. So the hard costs would be like their title policy would have to be rewritten again.
yeah.
But that sounds like it's a win-win, right? You buy a house through Laura right now at a better price point because the market's gotten a little softer, even a higher interest rate, and then get your mortgage with Max, and then you can refi
Yeah.
when your rates come down.
Yeah,
So it's a win-win all the way around.
that's
It
the
is.
key, and that's why I was.
And
I
if
was
you say
saying,
turkey or chicken, then it
and
sounds
you get
like
another $650 off.
then you got right. So it sounds like it's a great opportunity right now for people to get into the housing
And
market
he can
in South
also
Florida.
probably structure it for somebody where you could do it for them 1% less for at least a year just to let them get acclimated.
Yeah, we
Most
can-
people are scared.
Yeah.
They can afford it because you're still going to qualify on the affording. But it's always like maybe the house needs carpet or it needs some stuff, right? It needs paint, it needs things. And to save that $300-400 a month for a year
Yeah.
while you're doing these things to the house sometimes makes a buyer feel better.
Yeah.
I'm a licensed psychotherapist, so sometimes I'm doing therapy, and it's more like this, are you going to make more money in the future? You're going to know if
hope
you are
so.
or you're not. Well, right, you're in sales.
Yeah.
But most people know that, if I work for Publix, right,
You will.
they're going to give you raises
Yeah.
every so often, right?
Yeah.
Or if you're up for a promotion or different things
Yeah.
like that. So I think that stuff makes the difference on making a decision when buying a home. Sometimes it's been as crazy discussions like, how much do you spend on eating out? He sees it because he gets their bank statements and he sees their Presto, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it says Bole. If you saw mine, it would be Chevron $1.19 Diet Coke, Chevron $1.19 Diet Coke, Chevron. They know me by name.
But it sounds like then that's a great opportunity. Get the house now.
Yeah.
The house that you want. So you're not paying more. So your interest rate's a little bit higher. We're in a year where it's probably going to fluctuate because we're going into an election year.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to get either reelected or elected, whatever side you're looking at, right? Someone wants to win. They're going to try to see what they can do about the economy. You get the $650 off with chicken or turkey, and then talk to Max about, you know what, when it comes down, let's refi. Is there a time constraint on refi? Can you do it within a year, or do
Yeah.
you have to wait?
No, there's no time constraint.
Except for if they have a loan that maybe you did that said no payoffs in the first 6 months. And you can't refinance your own loan, right?
I can refinance my own loan. I don't
Oh.
put time constraints on people. If rates drop and I can save them money.
Okay.
I'll-
Well, I
you
just know that some loans
Yeah,
have.
yeah,
some
of course.
And this is
stuff.
a no-brainer.
Yeah. Here's the question I ask, and
Right?
if I'll treat you like I asked two questions. I'll treat you like a buyer for a second. I say, if rates were 1 to 2% lower today, would that make you feel more comfortable buying?
Yes.
The answer is always yes, right? And then I follow that question up by saying, when do you think rates are going to drop? Like, what are you waiting on? And the answer to that is always, what would you say if you were a buyer?
Being that I'm a realtor, right?
Yeah.
It's a hard question to answer because
But
for
what do
me,
you think the general...
listen, I'm very educated as a realtor.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't know that answer because,
Sure.
and I would say that's what makes me, I'm being honest, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't even want to put doubt in people's head, but I don't know when that's going to happen.
Well,
but what I do know is this. Here's what I do know. If, let's say you do the buy down, and they're not cheap, but let's just say on a 750 house, the buy
Yeah.
down with 20% down costs $15,000, right?
Yeah.
And it gives you 2 years of that lower payment. On the third year, you're going to go to the 8%. And let's just say interest rates don't go down. Let's just say. But you and I both know it's going to fluctuate, right?
Yeah.
But let's say they don't go down. Here's the thing. Worst case scenario, that's still what you're paying. But you qualified on that interest rate. You qualify. You can afford it.
Yeah.
The government would not give you the loan if you couldn't afford it. It's not like it was with the pick-a-pay loans and all these other
Sure.
things way before your time. Like,
Sure.
you know, you were around for that, Dawn. And so I'm saying that you want to spend $50,000 a year in rent?
Yeah. Well, here's why I asked
That's
that
a
question.
bigger loss.
Why I asked that question is because nobody knows when the interest rates are going to drop. But when people are planning on, okay, I don't want to buy now. Okay, then when do you want to buy? Well, I want to buy when the rates are lower. When do you think the rates are going to be lower? I ask them that question. When do you think? I don't know, but when do you think that is? Oh, probably within the next year or two. Okay, well, if I can get you a 1 to 2% rate, lower
Reduction,
rate
yeah.
for the next year or two, for when you just told me you think the rates are going to be lower, then we can do that for you. That's the idea, right, of the temporary buy down and the comfortability of payments.
And
So-
especially if you're going to do a refi. I remember back in the day, we were refining our house every time the interest rates went down, right? We always had kids' expenses and refining. But you were afraid to because you wanted to live in the house X amount more years to pick up the cost. But
Yeah.
if you're helping with the cost of the refi, then that should take a lot of the weight off of the person that they should be able
Of
to
whether
get
or
it
not it
from
makes
you.
sense.
Yeah.
Right. So now it makes a whole lot of sense of not to be in fear
And
of what that's going to look like to refi.
And if you do it within that 2-year time, the title policy, even though it's a hard cost, is going to be cheaper than what it was originally.
Yeah.
Because they're giving you discounts when you do it within the first 2 years.
Yeah, typically, if we're not charging any bank costs or anything like that, the person that's refinancing, the homeowner, their break-even time is 10 months to make up that cost. And
not
so
bad.
if somebody thinks that they're going to be in a home longer than 10 months, which, you know, if you're refinancing, you probably know if you're going to move within the next 10 months or not.
Now, I've heard, now
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, that when you do the buy down, the 1-2 years, right? If the rates went down in the first year, do you still have that money in a caddy?
Yeah.
And then you didn't lose anything, then there's nothing to bring back, right?
Yeah, there's a pot. And so if
Yeah.
you're doing a 2-1 buy down and that's 2 years and you refinance after the first year, there's still money left in that pot.
What if you refinance a year and a half in?
There's still money left. As long as you refinance before that 2 years, there's still going to be money left in that pot that is then applied to your
That's
your
something
refinance.
that I think we have to get this across to people because I don't think anybody knows these things. I
Yeah.
think that there's so much information here, and I really hope that people listen to this and that we can keep them to listen to this,
Yeah.
you know, this show because we're giving out, I think, like really good information for realtors, for buyers, for sellers, you know.
Yeah.
Especially for people like your age, Max, or first-time home buyers that are looking and you think you're paying for rent and rents are ridiculous, but you don't think you can afford a house, but you can based on what you and your spouse are making. You don't know where to go. Everyone's fearful of the interest rates, but I think these are old fears because they don't know the two of you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's just a lot of misinformation in general, and that's why I like the show so much. Is we can sit and talk and kind of debunk some of the myths and the information
And it
out
goes
there.
so easy and so smooth. It's not like, you know, we're really talking from like our education, from our knowledge. And
Yeah, we're in it every day. I mean, we're
Yeah.
not just, you know, practice
sometimes I
what
have
we preach.
nightmares about it. Want to buy a house in your sleep?
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's just, there's a lot of cool programs out to help mitigate the fallout of the higher interest rates.
And you work anywhere within Florida?
Anywhere within Florida, Georgia, or Colorado.
What made you pick those two states, just out of curiosity?
We just get, I mean, Georgia, we have a branch up in Jacksonville. And so it's
right on the-
Yeah, it's right on the edge. And we get licensed anywhere where it really, you know, we have a base
What
of
about
business.
Tennessee?
We do have plans to get licensed there. We just don't have a base of business there. So there hasn't been a need for it. But Florida's our bread and butter, anywhere in Florida.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, yeah, so if you know somebody, I would definitely say give Max a call. What's the best way to get a hold of you, Max?
Yeah, the best way to get a hold of me is just my personal cell phone, 954-729-6933. Call or text anytime.
Okay. And if you're looking for a top realtor, want to get your house sold, don't have the money to put out, we've definitely got plans for you. Give us a call at 954-650-0827. You can check me out on my website at lauraess.com. I was number 134 in the United States for all realtors according to the Real Trends, and number 19 in the United States for RE/MAX, and 59 in the world, so that's not bad. So we are international. RE/MAX is the biggest company in the world for real estate. So give Max and Laura Sanders a call, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you for tuning in for Making Money with Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. To join the conversation, call us at the studio, 888-994-4995 Studio A, or contact Laura directly at 954-650-0827. Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. We look forward to